Hey guys, it's lovely to have your company back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. I hope you are well and you're ready for another tutorial where this one, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing something that I don't actually do a lot, and that is something that I've kind of already got pre-made. Now what I mean by that is we're going to be looking at the Age of Elegance, and this is a demo that I have had prepped for months and months and months, which was for a Crafters TV show, and then on that day I think it had sold out and couldn't do it, and then I've never had Age of Elegance on Crafters TV, on Hobby Maker, on any shows. So the prep pack's been sitting here. I absolutely love it. I was well pleased with the actual finished result. So therefore, because it's a prep pack, I've got all my cardstock and all that cut to size. But what we will do is we'll go through the measurements, of course, and step you through it, but we'll still construct it. So as I said before, it is with the Age of Elegance, a collection. Remember, with Sarah, I done the preview on HSN America, and I told her then, and I told you all guys live, when I first heard about it, I thought, it's not my style. Well, it's not my style, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I would probably enjoy playing with and that. Oh my gosh, was I so wrong. I've unfortunately not had the pleasure of working with it a lot because it had pretty much gone quite quickly. But it was it really is a beautiful collection. That old time feel, the parasols and the big dresses. And that is Age of Elegance. Now, we're not going to be using the whole collection, but what we are going to be doing is we are going to be using these components here. So, actually, tell you what, let's show you what we're going to be making because I've got it finished. Look at that. Now, this is actually on 3 levels. 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layer. It's a little bit like a invitage, that it's going inwards. So instead of it being built high, the outside is the raised area, medium layer underneath, and then you've got the base way there in the back. So this is what we're going to be making in this demonstration, in this tutorial. And as I said, all the cardstock and all that's cut to size, but I'll step you through. We'll still do the cutting, the forming, the stamping, etc, etc. So what we're going to be using when it comes to that one is going to be the pearls. We are also then going to be using the stamp set. So this stamp set, all that I'm using is the Love Conquers All. So I'm going to be using that. We're going to be using a blue tassel. We're going to be using the exquisite frame, and it really, truly is exquisite. We're going to be using a metal charm. We are then going to be using a feather. I don't know, I didn't do it within my original prep demo. We might have a look because I seen that reading say pattern 2D embossing folder, and I thought, oh, that's really pretty, might use it. Linen card, and also the 12 by 12. So I'm going to move all of these out the way, and we are going to get started. Now what we are going to do, one of the layers I did do embossing, and I'll show you here. Here it is here, so we can pretty much just get started. So this one, what I've done, now I've cut this to 4.5 by 6 1/4. So 4.5 by 6 1/4. And what I've also done as well is I have then layer. Now I am hoping hopefully we're going to be okay. Now I don't have another one of that exact image, but taken something similar, and what I've done, let's still cut it. So I did say it was 6 1/4, wasn't it? Yeah, 4.5 by 6 1/4. So what I'm going to do is, although I'm not going to use this layer, I'm going to pretend that I am. So that then means I can always use this another time, but still it's giving you the step as to how to do the embossing. Now it's already kind of like on a light pearlescent paper. I really wanted to enhance that when it comes to the actual embossing. So to save a little bit of cleaning up, I'm going to do this onto a craft mat. Now I've just got a clear embossing powder, and let's pad. So we're going to go in and we're just going to dab it. We're going to give that a really nice coverage and ink that up by pressing on and just making sure that you've got a really nice coverage. Now, to be honest, it's only going to be that center part that we see, so you don't necessarily have to do the whole lot if you don't want to. You could see what I'm going to watch, what I'm going to do, and then when we start to do that middle layer, that's then going to give you an indication as the only part that you're going to see. So it's entirely up to yourself, but I'm just going to do the whole lot. I'm going to then pop, and I've just spilt all that powder at the side of me. We will tidy that later. Could get my Henry the Hoover out. Let's take that one off. Now I'm not worried about my fingerprints at the edges because, as I say, we are not going to see it, but what we're going to be left with is a cloudy effect for the time being. So I'm going to move, let's put that out of the way. I'm going to pop that onto my desk and tidy it later. Let's move that out. Let's bring this one back, and then we're just going to heat emboss like we would if it was a stamp. I'm just going to start at the top, and then I'm going to work my way down. So as that starts to melt, I'll be able to see it melt in, and then I'm just going to then travel all the way along until it's melted. So we're going to work our way, and I actually can't remember if I done a single emboss or if I done a triple emboss. I may have done a triple emboss. I'm going to have a look at this once it's been melted. So let's heat this up and melt. So as it's melting, I'm moving till it's all fully melted. I'm just going to make sure. I think I did actually triple emboss. So let's do that. Although I'm not going to do the full image, I'll only do that central image. So let's finish that one off. Now, triple embossing, originally what you would do is, while that's still kind of tacky, pour more powder over the top. Because this is a larger image, yes, I did do triple emboss on that one. Because this is a larger image, now that I've got to the bottom, that's pretty much dried at the top, which means my embossing powder won't stick to it. So what I need to do is just come back and go over it again. Now this time what I am just going to do, to save wasting, I'm just going to do that central image. And then let's take, I'm going to take that card, let's just scoop all of that up. Now obviously I know I don't need all of this, but just to kind of give me a helping hand to scoop it back in the tub afterwards, I'm just going to put it all on, like so, and then let's take that bit of paper again, cant it onto there, and then we're going to heat as it travels. We're going to melt that all the way down. Now, triple embossing, I tend to do it maybe about 3 times. And then what happens is, if you're new to triple embossing, each time you add a layer and you melt it, it's starting to slowly smooth and flatten out. You do it once, it's a little bit of a textured sort of feel, but then you do it more and more and more. All the layers heat up together, and then they end up creating a really smooth, it's as if it's like an enameled look. So let's go back and pop that on. So let's spread that out so it's covered all the stickiness. And then let's heat that one up again. And then start to melt that. So yeah, usually I do it maybe about 3 times. You can do it a couple times more if you want to. But on the larger images like this one, I'll use my ink pad or my watermark ink pad each time. If it's a smaller image, by the time that you get to the end, it'll still be semi-wet, and you can sprinkle your embossing powder over the top. So I'm just going to let that. So you start, look, if you look at, notice that difference already from that outer edge. You can see really nice and shiny and glossy, and it's just about at a really nice smoothed out level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it once more. I'm just letting that cool ever so slightly before I go over with my watermark. Let that cool, and then let's do that again. So ink up with our watermark ink pad, like so. And then let's come across with our powder. Let's sprinkle all of that where we need it. And then I'm just going to pop that into place so I can shut the lid and not knock it over again. And then let's heat that for the last time. So as that starts to melt, you travel, and you find the more you do it, the more you do it, the quicker it actually melts. I've got, it's like a little bit of gilding flake there, so I just wanted to move that. Although you could sprinkle a little bit of gilding flakes in there, that would look nice. So let's carry on going, work our way down for it to smooth out. As we get to the bottom, we're going to have what's going to look like an enamelled layer. So nicely smoothed out. I mean, so cool. So cool. So I'm going to bring that one back out, and I can use that one another time because I do like the look with this one, where with this one, because it's slightly larger, I'm not actually going to see that iron frame. I don't actually want to see it, whereas you would see that frame because it's slightly smaller than that one. So at least I've shown you that's how I've done that. So remember, that was 4.5 by 6 1/4. So let me move that one out the way and get rid of that powder. So now that I have done that one, I can move that out the way because I don't actually need to do anything else to that at the moment. What I need to do, now this is going to be my top layer. So I've cut this to 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and we're going to go in with that elegant frame, exquisite frame. So for this isn't actually a create a card die. Although you've got an outside die, It's not actually a create a card die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that out in the middle there, and that's actually going to completely cut out, which I want. I don't actually want the intricate detail, I just want that framework. So let's take my low tack tape and tack that down. What I should have said right at the start of this video as well, when the camera is on me, excuse the yellow notepads or the yellow post-it notes that are on my cubes. I am in the middle, or I'm not in the middle, I've just started to reorganize them, or maybe not necessarily reorganize them, but I have just started to kind of sort them out. So yes, that is why I've got post-it notes on my cubes behind me. So let's run that one through. So we can run that one through our G2. These will of course go through your MIDI if you want, and remember it's only the outer frame that I'm wanting, it's not actually the detail that I'm wanting. So take that out. So that's what I want, that framework, but I can of course keep this for another time. I'm going to prise that off, take that one off, take that one off, and all of that I could use another time. So I'll do that. I will keep that in with my pad, and then let's tap all these bits out. So now what I need is, I still need this die, but I also want that outer die because I want that thin black outer edge. So let me take a piece of black cardstock. I keep knocking everything over. Let's go in with a bit of black cardstock, if I can find it. Here we go. And let's cut that out. Now what you could do is, this, when complete, is going to mat and layer onto a bit of black cardstock. So what you could have done is of course use that into that centre bit to gut it. You can see I've already got it, but you could use that inner bit because you're not going to see it. But because of course I've already got my layers and got them ready, I don't have that ability at the moment. So let's align that up. So what we're going to be left with is a really nice, light, thin, filigree frame. I don't need that bit just now. So frosted magnetic top plate. We're going to do exactly the same. So let's go over into our G2 here. Feed that one through for that to then cut out. We're going to be left with that black intricate frame, but we'll also have that outer frame, and that's what I want. That's what I'm wanting for that, essentially that aperture. And of course if you line that up better, you've got another frame, or what you've also got is an aperture to create a shaker if you want to, and of course I can use that another time. So I don't need these. Let's pop that frame out. So let's grab hold of it. Let's just find whatever one is the release one, if there is one. Maybe there's not, so let's just pick away. There we go. He says pick away at it and take that one out. And then even what I could do is I could drop shadow with the black and use that at another time. So always options when it comes to whatever it is you're using. So I'm going to then take that one out. And let's pop that back. Still need this die set shortly, but for those teeny little dies. Let's then take, my screen has just gone all funny. There we go, you're getting loads of things popping up at the moment. Right, let's bring this back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tacky glue. So with my tacky glue, I'm of course using Stix2. You can use whichever ones that you want. And I'm going to go around here. So let's work our way around. And it doesn't actually take that long at all. And we're just going to scribble lightly all the way around. And that's because if you look at the frame that we've done within the colour card or patterned paper, it looks nice really aperture frame, but you know what I'm like with framework, I feel like we need to finish it. So, you know, that looks nice, however, this looks better. So I'm going to work and maneuver that in, and it's of course going to match exactly, and because it's the glue we've got that wiggle room, and I'm overlaying it exactly over the pattern paper. So let's just move and then manipulate. And then once I'm happy with that, I can leave it be to dry, but then that looks better. To me, that looks better, you can see. So I can set that one out the way for now. In actual fact, yes, I will. I was waiting to say I'll pop that onto my black layer, but I'm not. I'm going to leave that a moment just for that to tack. But what I do want to do, actually, no, let's just do that now, because I want to line it up for my next layer. So let's go around the edges here. Usually I would use my double-sided tape, but because that's still a little bit tacky, I just want to be careful and not move that, because of course I would have to put that flat to put my tape on. So let's position that in there. Perfect. There we go. So we've got our matting layer. Now what I do need, I obviously do need one of the other dies for the next layer. So let's have a look for the other die, the other frame. There's another frame die in here. There we go, that one. This is the one. So this is the other one, the other frame die. Vintage frame. But for this one, what I'm wanting is this one. That's what I'm wanting. Now what I do want is I want to make sure, actually it doesn't really matter as such where or whereabout it's going to go, because this is of course our background layer. As long as my white cardstock is slightly bigger than that one, but smaller than that one. So this is, for anyone who wants to know, 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I am going to do my best to get that as close to the centre as possible. It's not essential that it's bang on, because we've got wiggle room. So get it as close as we can. And tape that one. Let's run that one through. Now because this is a simple die, I'm going to take out my magnetic shim, and what we're going to do is we're just going to pop in the frosted shim, because it doesn't need all of that pressure, it only needs the light pressure of the shim. So if I bring that one back in here, don't need me, do you? We need overhead. There you go. Let's just then carefully prise that one off there, and then we've got that light little frame that you can see, an apertured frame. So I can take that away, and you always use that again, stamp a sentiment on there. That would look quite smart. But now what I can do is then I can position that exactly where I need. So let's go in with our foam pads. So let's take our foam pads, and this is going to be quite a deep card. So these ones are 3mm foam pads. You can make it as shallow as you want to, or you don't even have to have the depth of foam pads. If you want to keep it quite flat, then of course you can absolutely do that. But I do think this style, sort of looking inwards, does work really, really well. And then you can see we will need to take most of those foam pads off. So if I take them off, so we're now we've built our layer, front layer towards the back, and now we're building from the back towards us, just so that we can frame everything perfectly. So now what we can do again is let's work that in. Now what I'm going to do, let's see what angle I've got, there we go. I'm going to go this way just now so that you don't see my head sticking in the way. So I want to visually frame that the best I can. So I'm happy with that. So let's press that down. That's what I mean by don't worry about the edges you're not going to see. I've got a light little overlap there. So just undercut all the way along here. That then now means we've got that perfect frame. And then we're going to bring in our outer frame, and we're going to do exactly the same again. I think this time what I might do is, instead of going 4mm, let's do 3mm, that is. So this one isn't going to be as deep. So we've got a variation in depth going on. So let's pop these down the way. And I will, as always, I will try my best, well, not try my best, I will link the main items I have used. Now, a lot of Age of Elegance is going to be gone, of course, but for those that have got it, then you'll be able to then recreate this in some forum. You don't need to do, of course, exactly what I'm doing. And then I'm going to do exactly the same again. So I'm going to go back that way, just so that you don't get my head in the way, because I'm wanting to frame that one up like so. And then all that I'm doing visually is I'm just drawing that line down the centre. Let's press that down like so. And now we've got our, well, essentially our double frame, and we've got it that it's all perfect. So we've die cut from the top layer into the mid layer, then of course we're looking at the image, but when we're assembling it, we're starting with the image, then building the second layer, then building the top layer. So we're doing it back to front. So let's move that one out the way for now. Now I've got a piece of the pink linen cardstock, 5 3/4 by 7 3/4, and as you can see I have got my cardstock. So let's go round the edges with our choice of adhesive. Anyone that is new to my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, what you will see is my preferred form of adhesive is double-sided tissue tape, and when I have that luxury of time I will always use it. where possible. Now the only thing you need to watch about card that you've got out makes it even more flexible. So you do just need to make sure that you've been very careful when layering it down, because as I say, it is flexible, so it can move like it has done there a lot easier than usual. In prime example there, I've gone right, not right off, but I've gone off at the side there. So we're just going to then fix that. The other option is, instead of using my tissue tape, I could have used my tacky glue. So I'm just working my way around now, just making sure all of these are straight. There we go. Let's take a little bit more off here. And there we go. That's better. So we've now got our base. Now my card blank is 8x6, so I've taken my 8x8 card blank and then I've just chopped off 2 inches and created a top fold. Already got my insert as well ready to go. So when I do my tutorials, even although at time of making I don't know who I'm going to be giving the card to, I'll still put in a blank matte and layer insert so that it's ready to go to stamp onto, write into, or I can print out a verse on my printer on another piece of cardstock, matte and layer that one in. And my chosen colour from a matte and layer is always the darkest colour I've used on the front of the card. So the darkest colour that I've used when it comes to the front of the card is black. So that's going to be my matte and layer for the inside. That's not set in stone. That is just a personal preference. You don't have to do that, but I do think it works really well being the darkest colour, because it's all about pulling your eye in, continuing that transition from the front onto the inside, and that's what colour can do. So that then is going to go on the front. So let's align that one up and press that down. And then we're going to bring in this one, and that's going to go into place there. However, we are not going on another layer of foam pad. We're going to keep this flat. Now, if you worry about excess adhesive being seen, i.e. the foam on the edges still being, although they're not going to be seen to the eye, there's nothing covering them. What you can do if you want to, I don't do this, this is just if you want to, take an anti-static bag and just dust off, and that's going to take away the tack. If you're worried about any dust or debris or that seeping underneath, then just de-tack it with a microfiber cloth, a anti-static bag or a powder of some form. De-tack it, and it just means it's not going to then attract any dust or debris. As I say, it doesn't bother me. As long as the eye can't see it, that's what matters. So let's bring that one in now, and we're going to press that into place. So let's align that. There we go. I keep forgetting that it's higher because I've got 2 layers of foam pads. There we go. There's our framework, and then I'm going to take my sentiment strip. So I've cut this 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. So that's 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. And let me take my stamping platform. Set that out of the way. So let's take that off. I'm going to pop that as close to the centre as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit. There we go, perfect. Let's bring in our sentiment stamps. What have I done with them? As you can see, I've not used the embossing folder, but this is where what I could have done is I could have used the embossing folder on that white layer. That would have also looked nice, but I generally did forget about it. Otherwise we would have tried it. Love conquers all. So we're going to pop that into the centre. So let's centralise that like so. Press that down, and as always, in most cases, I'm going to use my waterproof ink pad, my black waterproof ink pad, because for some reason I just find it gives a sharper impression. Don't know why. It's maybe just psychological and visually, but I do. Love conquers all. Now I'll show you how, although it's really simple, but I'll show you how I've done that black strip. I'm going to use the one that I've already done, only because I don't want to waste the petals that are on it. So let's take that off, pop that onto there, pop that back. So yeah, so within that one there, let's take my black cardstock, and then all that I've done, really simple. So all that I've given myself is a black layer on the top. So it's not a matting layer all the way around. All that I've done is given myself a matting layer, well, a layer along the top. So let's take those bits out here. And then if I take that, so along the top, all that I'm going to do is make sure I've got a nice straight edge along the top, and then what I'm going to do, let's just roughly cut to make it easier, and then all that we're going to do is chop away, and you can use the guillotine if you want, but we're just chopping away all that excess, so the only part that's got a black layer is along the top, like so. And then I've just done 3 dots of glue and 3 dots of glue, and that's where I've brought in the petals. So I've just done 3 and 3 to finish that one off. This one we are going to go on foam pads, but again, why have I got tape on there? I don't know. Again, I'm going to do the 3mm, so not 2mm, not the 4. Start that one, Craig. Start that one again, Craig. I'm doing the 2mm, not the 3mm. Let's bring that one back in. And that, the measurements that I gave you is because it's going to fit along the bottom, just snugly against that bottom edge. Then what we can do is we can then come along with, let's jump to our mini now. Let's use our mini. Now I've got a lot of these already cut, but we'll do some just to show you. So if I take some of the green card that you get included within the linen, and let's do a couple of the leaves. Just want to make sure I'm doing it on kind of like the right side of the linen. We can tape them down if you want. I would, of course, if I was trying to watch my cardstock, but because I've got lots already cut, pop them out, and then just with my fingers I'm just going to then bend them upwards and bend it upwards. Doesn't need to be neat, don't worry if it's not straight, if it cracks, whatever it is, don't worry. Move that out the way, and then I've got some that I've already done here. So that's a smaller one, and then there's a smaller one. So I think in total all that I need is 6. I'd already done 6 and then I've just done the 2 that I've shown you there. So I really only need 6. So I'm going to take 2 out, 1 of each size. And then for the flowers, let's take the flowers. And then for the main flower, we're going to do all 3. And let me position it again, ideally, so they don't move. Use your tape. So if we then remove that one. So the main flower, I've got 1 of each size. And then what I would then do, again, let's see, I've already done them. So there's large, medium and small. So that's 1 flower. And then what I would do is I would then take that one, so the medium and the small, die cut them, overlay them and do that twice, which is going to give me those 2 there. So that's the medium and then the small, and then I've popped a pearl in the middle. But the way that I've built them is exactly as I'm away to show you right now. So let's move that, and then let's move that one. And I've got, he says somewhere, I've got what's just like, it's just like a mouse mat. I also do this on the back of my stamping platform, but I can't find it. So let's do this now. So what I like to do, and you can shape flowers in any way, this is the right side, and then I just work my way around and just press. So like the leaves I pinched, it's essentially what I'm doing here, but I'm just using a pokey tool. You can pinch them with your hand if you want. And likewise with the leaves, if you don't want to pinch them, but you want to press down the pokey tool, you can do that. Just create that bit of shape. And then even although the small one is really small and diddy, we can still press the detail down, and then using our tacky glue, just going to bring in a ball tool as well to help, tiny bit of glue, and we're just going to then twist and turn so that we can offset that. So I'm going to press for a few moments, then I'm going to then pop another teeny bit of glue in, and then I'm just going to then turn and then offset that and press down for that to grab. Don't worry if you squash it, because you can bunch it back up again. And then that one and that one, I've used the tiny small blue pearls you get within the set. This one I've used the medium size, which is, it's going to be this one here, but I'm going to use that one so I'm not wasting the pearl. And then gone in with a little bit of glue and popped in a teeny pearl. So that is that one. So I've got all these. I need now my charm. I've got my feather. Sorry, I've got my tassel and I need a feather. So let's take that one. We're going to use a deep blue for this one. And then within these, let's take, I'm going to use the same one that I used in my finished example. I'm pretty much making it exactly the same. Still a lot of scope to change, but I'm not. I'm just doing exactly the same. And then what I'm also going to use is I'm going to use Stix2's silicone glue. You can of course use your glue gel or any form of wet adhesive. I'm going to use this one. Where is my pokey tool that I use for my glue gel. Is it about somewhere? No, okay, I'll need to use this one. I tend to just use the same one for my glue gel. So what I'm going to do is let's go into, visually where do I want it? Yeah, there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to lay my tassel into there. I'm going to really press that down. Let's take another glue gel, and then I'm going to overlay that over the top. Let's bring in our smaller one, lightly tuck that under. Let's do this one as well, and lightly tuck that under. And the great thing with glue gel or silicone, you can move it about. And then let's take, so this is the one of the largest leaves, tuck that in and tuck that in. I'm not adding any extra glue gel. What I'm doing is I am using the glue gel that's already underneath the petal, and that's going to hold it in. So let's bring that in. I'm kind of wanting to curve it round slightly, like that. Now I'm going to bring in a small leaf, and then a small leaf, like so. And then down here, I need the large leaf, a small leaf, and then doing also, I'm going to go with the feather so it's curving round, and actually that just fits perfectly in there. So another bit of glue gel, I'm just going to go along the bottom and use that to help tuck it in, so that's curving round the sides there. I'm going to then bring in a bit of glue gel with that leaf there, teeny bit of glue gel within that leaf there, and teeny tiny bit of glue gel. I'm going to do that just onto there at an angle like so, and that will move back and forth. Love conquers all. And then there we go, one that I've been desperate to try and do for a while, and it's been set. I'm just going to move that out of the way for a moment while you see. Of course that will move over time. I'm not going to make it move because everything's still wet, but then there we go. Really, really lovely, fancy, elegant, sophisticated deep frame. You will need either a box or of course an envelope box for it to go in. Love conquers all. You can see that depth that you've got there as well, and then you've also got that one here for you to see. So let's go that way. Love conquers all. And we've got that sheen and that shine from that triple emboss that we've done as well. And then there you go. So that is from Love Conquers All. So other than, of course, the bits of card and the flowers I already had pre-made because it was from a past demonstration, of course. That's what I mean by the yellow post-it notes. Over the next good number of tutorials, you'll see these post-it notes just start to expand. And then when I'm at a point that I'm finished, I'm going to print out and label them, so it will look neater over time. But there we go. I really hope you enjoyed that one. If you've not played with the Age of Elegance as of yet, or maybe you've not played with it for a while, get it back out and follow along with what I've done. And maybe you're going to do exactly as I do, or maybe you're going to change it up. Maybe you're going to use a completely different collection and use all your other frame dies. You can do that of course. But thank you so much. Let me know in the comments what you think of that one. As I always say as well, I always see your comments, because I get an email notification with every comment left. So thank you so much. Keep on, of course, sharing any of these posts that I do. It's really appreciated. And thank you for liking and also subscribing and hitting that bell notification. Till the next time, we'll see you back here on my Crafter's Companion YouTube channel. See you then. Bye.